Good evening. My name is Jason Delisle, President of the Speedway Town Council. It's 7 p.m. on August 26th, and I call this meeting to order. We'll first start off with our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, quick introductions. To my right is our Town Manager, Grant Kleinhans.
Good evening.
Town Councilor, Sarah Gardner.
Good evening.
Councilor Sean Harold.
Good evening.
And to my left is our Town Attorney, Ted Nolting.
Good evening.
Our Clerk Treasurer, Philip Faust.
Good evening.
And our Vice President, Nick Sturgeon.
Good evening.
Our first item is approval of minutes from the August 12th, 2024 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? Call for a vote. All those in favor of approving our minutes from August 12th, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 4-0. Next item is approval of our memorandum of our administrative session of the Speedway Town Council on August 12th.
I'll make a motion to approve our memorandum of administrative session on August 12th.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor of approving our August 12th memorandum, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 4-0. Yet another memorandum. Our next item is approval of memorandum of the Speedway Town Council 2025 budget meetings from August 20th and 21st.
I'll make a motion that we approve the memorandum of our town council budget meetings on the 20th and 21st.
I'll second.
All right, any questions or comments? All those in favor of approving our memorandum from August 20th and 21st, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 4-0. All right, next item is Resolution 2024-05, which approves the designation of a personal property tax abatement for OMR. Grant.
Yeah, so we have discussed this. I know that they attended an admin session 2 weeks ago to provide the input. The proposed personal property tax abatement before you is a 6-year abatement on a roughly $10 million investment. 98% of that is the equipment. There is a small real property, but that abatement schedule is listed on page 2 of the resolution, 100% for the first 3 years, and then a drop off from 75 down to 50 and 25 at the end of year 6. So with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have. I don't know if any, you're here with OMR, right? I can't remember your names. Yeah. So that's the high points of it. I know we've talked about this. We appreciate OMR in the community, their investment in the community. They've been here for a while. They were one of our first big projects there on Main Street. And it's good to see them continue growing and utilizing that space. And I think this is a very fair abatement request. We still get property tax dollars. The equipment won't be worthless when the abatement's over. I think it will still generate some property taxes and it will create significant amounts of jobs. So definitely a good thing.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 2024-05, the designation of personal property tax abatement for OMR.
I'll second.
All right, any questions or comments for Grant or?
Well, I would like to maybe yield some time to our OMR representatives if they would like to say anything.
Yeah, Tim Conrad, and I have Greg Elkins, the OMR CFO. We certainly appreciate the town's support and look forward to this project. So it's going to add 2 new production lines is the quick summary of the project. This is in addition to existing operations. It's not replacing any lines. It will be just new investment in the town. And we're looking to create about 45 new jobs as a result of this project.
Yeah, I'll just say, I appreciate everything you guys have done in the town. You've been a great partner for some of the race parking that we do that helps fund some of the activities, and we have an exchange trip that helps fund. So just really appreciate not only everything you do on the business side, but how you've been a part of the community as well. And I know that some of that has to do with Gary, who's been a great partner for the town. So just appreciate everything OMR's been a part of.
Thank you. Thank you.
No further questions?
All right, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving our personal property tax abatement for OMR, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 4-0. Thank you. Next item is ordinance 1391, which amends the parking of unplated, abandoned, or inoperable vehicles. Grant?
Yes, so on the agenda tonight, it's advertised as a proposed first reading. Under the rules, if you feel that this is acceptable, you guys can suspend those rules and approve this tonight. It just requires, Ted, I believe,
You have to make that part of the motion when you say,
to suspend the rules and just adopt this on first reading.
Right, so it's, for towns it's 75%, right, for consent, and then, no, it's 100% consent and then 75%.
Yep, so there would need to be a motion that says approve on first reading, then that would have to be unanimous consent, and then you could vote. We would need a motion to then approve the resolution on first reading and make it effective secondly, and then a vote on that, if that makes sense.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 1391 and suspend the first reading.
I'll second.
So suspend
So
the rules.
suspend the rule and adopt tonight.
Yep.
Yep, and I'll second that.
all right, any questions or comments for Grant?
Just, Grant, as far as the changes here, could you give a quick
Yes.
rundown? On
Yes,
what
so
that is?
there really is only one change. It is found under section 10.12.030. We added a further definition of unplated vehicle, what it means to be an unplated vehicle. An unplated vehicle means any vehicle designed to be operated on a public roadway that does not display a current, unexpired vehicle registration or license plate, which simply means if the plate on your car says it expired in June of last year and it's sitting on your property or in the town right-of-way, that's an inoperable vehicle and has to be removed from the property. We have problems with this, right? People will store vehicles that are in bad shape. They are not good aesthetically. They attract vermin. Weeds and grass grow up, and this will help us to require people to either store them somewhere else or get rid of them or get them operable and get them licensed.
What's the process then, if this is, somebody has one of these vehicles right now, right? What's the process? What is code enforcement?
So they'll be
How do they do that?
notified that they have a situation that's
Okay.
against our code.
Okay.
They typically give them an abatement. They give them a week to 10 days to kind of remedy the situation. If they don't remedy that or contact code enforcement to ask for, we grant extended time from time to, just depending on what the circumstances are. And if it's not removed in the agreed upon time, then we have the authority to issue a ticket.
Okay.
Which then would go to the Beech Grove Court and heard by that judge and
Okay.
kind of go from there. And if the judge says you're guilty, you got to remove it, they'll remove it.
Okay.
And then pay the fine or whatever.
Okay.
But they also do have the option to place an abandoned vehicle sticker on the car, which then could also then be towed from the property as well,
So they can be,
under the current.
The existing.
Existing.
But to be
Before
clear,
the ticket.
today, The only change here that we're discussing is just the
Definition.
addition of the definition
Yeah.
of what the unplated vehicle is.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
that we're changing anything.
Yep, it's an
Yeah.
existing ordinance that we're just.
Right.
So that is part of the option. And if I'm not mistaken, this gets it a little bit more in line with the state statute for unplated and abandoned vehicles.
Yeah, unplated was already in there, just wasn't defined.
Yeah.
And so, so the question became like, does that mean it just doesn't have a plate, or it's
Yeah.
expired, or, both? And so we just wanted
it up.
to
Yeah,
make
clean
it
up.
clear
Yeah.
that, yeah, it could be either.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, thank you for the clarification. Any other questions, comments? All right, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving ordinance 1391, which amends the parking of unplated, abandoned, or inoperable vehicles, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 4-0.
So Ted, is that sufficient?
I think we need another vote. So that was the consent.
so
to
suspend the
adopt on
rules.
first reading, and now we need an
Yeah,
actual
maybe I
vote.
should have made that more clear. Yeah.
So now we would need a motion to approve the ordinance on first reading as consented to by the body.
Okay, I will make a motion that we adopt ordinance 1391, an ordinance amending the parking of unplated, abandoned, or inoperable vehicles as consented to on this first reading.
And I'll second.
All right, I assume there's no questions or comments. So with that, all those in favor of approving ordinance 1391, which amends the parking of unplated, abandoned, inoperable vehicles, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 4-0. Okay, next item is approval, proposal for professional services with Wessler Engineering for the creation of a backflow prevention program. Grant.
Nancy, do you mind just approaching the podium? And Nancy's here with Wessler Engineering. So a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, we had an inspection by the state. The only thing that they found that we needed to work on was a backflow prevention program. That is a process by which we can try to secure our lines to make sure people don't blow things back into our lines where people are drinking from. So we discussed it. I know we had discussions with Nancy and Wessler. They have given us this proposal to create and establish this backflow prevention program, I think is what we're calling it, in an amount of $9,000 for that process, and that'll be something we work on over the next month or two and probably submit to the state for their review and approval, and then make that a part of how we manage our lines. So with that, Nancy can answer questions, I can answer questions.
Do we have
I'll make
a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion for the approval of proposal for professional services with Wessler Engineering for the creation of a backflow prevention program.
I'll second.
All right, any questions, comments for Grant or Nancy?
How long do you think this will take, Nancy, to kind of work through and get accomplished?
Well, there'll be creation of the program, should only take maybe a month. There's an ordinance that'll have to be adopted, and then there's some data management.
Okay.
So probably about 90 days.
Okay.
All right, if there's no other questions, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving our proposal with Wessler Engineering for the creation of a backflow prevention program, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That passed 4-0. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
And it does have me signing that proposal. Thank you.
All right. Next item is approval of the Speedway entrance gateway sign and landscaping project change order number 1 from Smock Fansler. Grant.
Yeah, so this one is a bit of a bugaboo that has kind of come about, and we're just trying to clean this up. There have been a total of 2 change orders to that project. The second one was duly approved and signed off by the town council last fall, or actually this spring. It was like in April. And that was actually a change order deduct. But this change order, as Philip was reviewing the records to make the final payment, we did not have a signed nor approved copy of that. I got a new copy, and whether it was signed by us is immaterial. It should have come to the council, and for some reason it didn't. The change order is in, this change order is in the amount of $27,023. It is identified on the attached documentation what that is. It's some additional plantings, topsoil, additional mulch, and then the crew and labor to install that. That is attached. The discussions were had shortly after the project bid, and there was an area that was determined really needed more landscaping because it was fairly bare. So that's what this was intended to do. So if you approve this tonight, and I want to reiterate that the project has been completed, closed out, the substantial certificate of completion has been provided. This was just something that fell through the cracks. And I'm asking you to approve this so that we can get this signed and get the final, I think the final payment's 50 some odd, 55, 50 something.
$59,139.72.
That was retainage that was held back from each of their billings to make sure we had enough money at the end in case we had issues. So I'm recommending this, and I'll answer any questions that you might have.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the Speedway entrance gateway sign and landscaping project change order number 1 from Smock Fansler.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, mistakes happen. I understand that. Not a big deal, but just want to make sure that we, try not to have this happen.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
just whatever processes and all that, because it kind of reflects badly on us,
Yep.
and, get the work done and not have it paid, and we want to be, paying for the work that we're doing, and, or making sure we get approval for the work before it gets done
Yeah.
as well. So-
Yeah, I will accept responsibility for the claim, not the change order not making it to the council, but it fell through the cracks somehow. We did have a change in staffing who was responsible for the project. I had to take that over, and
Okay.
we just
Yeah.
didn't get it approved.
All right. I appreciate that.
If you don't
Grant.
mind a simple suggestion, make the motion, approve and ratify. Since we're not approving in advance, we're actually ratifying something that was already done. So that's the magical language Samoa likes to see, so.
All right, so I will modify my motion that we approve and ratify this change order.
Second.
All right, since we've had our discussion, anybody else? Last chance. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving and ratifying the Speedway entrance gateway sign and landscaping project change order number 1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 4-0. Next up is approval of our claims, and looks like we have one adjustment as well. Philip?
That's correct. Thank you. The time period that we're covering is August 8th, 2024 through August 21st, 2024 for claims. That's 11 pages worth of claims totaling $3,141,714.22. And as already alluded to, there's one adjustment request for one customer on one page. Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we approve our claims and adjustment as presented by our clerk treasurer.
I'll second.
All right, any questions or comments for Philip? All right, all those in favor of approving our claims and adjustments, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That passes 4-0. Next up is our town manager report with Grant.
Yes, so I have just two items. I did want to thank the council for the effort last week in attending the 2025 budget work sessions. I know that was 5.5 or 6 hours out of your life you're not going to get back, but I do appreciate your engagement, your willingness to understand and try to understand what everybody was presenting. It's not easy to put together a $30+ million budget, and it's a 4 to 6 month process that we work very hard on. Philip works very close with us, our financial advisor, department heads. We had 2 or 3 different meetings, trying to get everything squared away so that it's done properly. I do appreciate that. And I know that lowered your dollar per hour rate that you receive for pay, so I apologize for that. I did want to announce our Community Day upcoming on September the 11th, Wednesday, September 11th. Which is an event where we, in place of National Night Out Against Crime, because that falls in July when we're busy with the Brickyard 400 and it just doesn't work for our schedules, we have done this every year since I've been here. It's a great opportunity for the community to come out to the park. It'll be held at Leonard Park. I think it's 5:30 to 7:30. We'll have a bubble machine from the library. There'll be free hot dogs, chips, and drinks. Fun Days has donated ice cream that we will be dipping. I would love to have a couple volunteers who would love to dip some ice cream. And it's not one of these, one for me, one for you, 2 for me. We have to give it out to the kids. But it's a great time. Tammy does a great job. Cheryl does a great job. All of our staff pitches in, and it's just a rocking good time. So just wanted to bring those couple of things up.
Yeah, no, thanks to everybody on the budget stuff. I know it's not easy, and in my days of prior public service plus private industry, it's probably some of the smoothest budget talks and that I've experienced. So I think the information was exactly what I was looking for, and I think it just made it easy to go through, and it was a very smooth operation.
Good.
Yeah, I'd concur, and I think that's a lot to do, the work that you did, Grant, and as well as Philip as well. So just want to thank both of you on putting that
Department heads
together.
as well. They put a lot of time and effort. So it's really a team effort. Putting together a $30-some-odd million budget is not easy, especially when you seem to not have all the money that you want every single year. Trying to figure out what goes and what's priority.
All right. With that, call for a council report from Councilor Sarah Gardner.
Yeah, I just have 2 things to mention. I guess, again, just thanking you guys again and all the work that went into the budget meeting. Again, not my favorite topic of numbers, but again, it was very smooth. Like you said, we left and I could still see straight, and so that was shocking.
Was it the cookies that helped?
I even avoided the cookie. I did. I gave some to my kids, so thank you for that too, Philip. No, I think just coming up, things that are happening, again, the community night, that's a great event to come to. Lots of local businesses, churches. It's fun for kids. There's music going on, so I would definitely get out. It's a free dinner. You got hot dogs and ice cream, so what else do you need, right? So that's a great night to attend at Leonard Park. And then the chocolate walk is September 14th. That's a Saturday. It's from 1 to 4. It's great to, I guess you could still probably participate. There's like 30-some businesses that participate, and they provide some sort of chocolate. And it's all over town. It's a fun event for kids. I mean, you see all walks of life, and you can drive to certain locations, and then there's a few at a time. So you don't have to walk the whole town to get your chocolate, although I make you work for it slightly at the fitness booth.
You may want to do the walking.
That's right.
After all
So
that
that's
chocolate.
fun. It's a fundraiser for the Tanya Isaac Foundation that raises money for families in Speedway going through cancer treatment. So again, it's just a great, thing to do on that day. The Jazz Fest is right after that. So again, there's your Saturday plans if you don't have all the kids' sports and all those things happening. And then last but not least, the Homecoming Parade is this coming month as well, September 28th, I believe. It's May 27th. It's a Friday, 5 o'clock. So
right
lots
before
of fun.
homecoming.
Yeah, leading into the homecoming game. So whether you're participating, lining the streets, going to the game, all of that, just a fun night for Speedway and getting out. So that's what I have.
All right, thank you. Counselor Harold?
Yeah, and the only thing I have tonight, again, to kind of piggyback on the budget talks, the first time going through this as a town councilor, like Nick said, been through this many times kind of in the private sector. I thought it was so well organized, guys, and so thank you, like we said, to Philip and Grant and each of the department heads. It was clear that there was a lot of thought and effort put into how do we best utilize our tax revenue and our tax money, and so really appreciate all the efforts put into that. It was smooth, and as Sarah said, we could maybe even think straight after we got out of here. So the smoothest budget process I think I've been through in general. So thank you all.
Thank you, Sean. Vice President Sturgeon.
I've said everything that I can think of.
I think next year we're going to try to make the budget a little harder.
Well,
It should be like work.
I'm on vacation that week.
All right, well, with that, I guess it's our 14th meeting of 2024 is adjourned at 7:26.